What's up, everybody? Derek here, and today we are down on the creek and we are in a crystal clear water, and we're going to be doing some swim baiting, some finesse swim baiting to be exact. As you see this one right here, this is the BioSpawn EXOSwim. These right here, 4-inch. These are perfect for doing some kind of swim baiting. Any paddletail will work, but these work awesome for the size of them being 4-inch. But a lot of people will take a jig head, or they'll actually get a swim bait hook per se. But over the years, I've kind of fine-tuned my swim bait rigging to be a lot more simple and what a lot more people actually know. So if you look at that right there, that is a Texas rig, or what is known as a Texas rig. It's Tex posed and everything. Where I'm at today, there's a lot of clear water, there's boulders, there's all kinds of structures such as laydowns and grass all over the place behind me. So with that being said, this being weedless is one of the best ways to get bit. And whether you're fishing on a creek or a river or anywhere else, even the lake, you go to the back of a pocket or anywhere out towards the main lake, you can fish these deep. You can bottom bounce them during the summertime. You can run them through those big grass lakes or anywhere that there's grass for the most part and just rip these things free, and bass will hammer them. They are great for reaction bites, and sometimes when those fish are really hungry, right before a front or anything like that, just hungry in general, they will hammer one of these, and it's a lot of fun catching them on these finesse swim baits. So we're just gonna go down through here and see if we can fish a little bit and see what we see in front of us and give you some tips on how you can be better at fishing these swim baits. So let's get to fishing. All right, when you got hard bottoms like you got right here, a lot of times, sometimes it's good to kind of bounce it up off the bottom and work it along sometimes. And then if you look at this area, there's a depression. So sometimes when you got current or other stuff, those fish may be holding in that depression if it's a hard rock bottom, or up along the bank lines. We've got water running in here. It's like the perfect scenario for fish to be hanging onto structure or right off of that current where it's oxygenating the water, and those fish could be hanging right off of it. So just anywhere down through there, and you want to try to figure out what kind of retrieve you want to do when you're doing this finesse kind of swim bait, because you're trying to mimic just something that's going to get that predatory aggressiveness out of that fish. So look at that and how it just, that paddle tail and the transition of the colors from that watermelon to that watermelon, that dark green to that white on the underside of the belly on the paddle tail really shows how much that paddle tail is working through the water. So it's kind of effortless in its ways as you just reel along and pull it down through, but sometimes you just want to give it little twitches, or let it hit the bottom and then pull it up off the bottom and then start reeling it back in. Sometimes those changes in direction or those changes in just the way that the bait is going throws off the rhythm of the fish and really entices them to bite, because they figure that something may be wrong with this fish that's swimming around. It's just, you've got to play with it and figure out what the fish want. And sometimes, some days, just a direct retrieve, just slow, nothing special, will get those bites as well. But you've got to consider what kind of places you're catching those fish if you are catching them when you're doing that constant retrieve. All right, this is one of the major places where a fish could just be about anywhere. There's so much grass right across the whole center of this river. Might as well call it a creek, but it's all the way across. So every piece that you can throw in there, every little gap, every little nook, everything within that grass. Since this is weedless, you want to toss this back in there and rip it through the grass. Take it right through the edges. Let it hit that stuff and react, because those fish, if it comes right by their face, and let's say it hits a piece and it just kind of flutters that paddle tail a little bit differently, they will inhale this thing. So just a reminder to always hit everything that you possibly can. And hook sets are for free, so if you're not getting hooked up into stuff and then hooking sometimes and losing baits, then you're probably not going to end up catching those fish in the first place. Little guy ran with it. down there in that little cavity. It just kind of drops off with these bigger rocks right in here, and he was hanging out right there waiting. Pretty little bass. Thanks, buddy. Let's see if we can make it under this. I may have to go to my knees. Oh, and of course we hit. Now when I'm fishing these swim baits, I really like to have a good rod bend, because it's just me. I like a light tip with these, especially finesse. I don't like a spinning rod. I like a bait caster, and a lot of times the cheaper combos, like this is a $100 combo you could get at Academy. This thing has such rod bend, and it's such a light action tip. I mean, look at that. I literally have to put nothing into it and I can cast. So look, I mean, just that's all it is, just flicking it out there. And I have 20-pound braid on here. I don't go crazy. I just try to keep my fishing simple. There's no reason to overcomplicate something that is moving through the water like this. It's finesse, but yet it is still on the move, on the hunt, trying to find those active fish. There's some little pockets right here that just look awesome. And I hope I haven't spooked any fish, but we're starting to get, there's one. That's a good one right there again. Oh, nope, not as big. But we're starting to get into them. We got this different kind of grass down here. And it's really cleaning up the water. And I'm noticing there's a lot more life down here where we're at now as opposed to upstream. Of course, we did see some big ones, but there's more fish down here, I'm starting to notice, and they're more lively. So something in the water column down here is changing, because this grass was not upstream. Thank you, buddy. I have loved one of these swim baits for so long fishing this way, and they can catch you so many fish doing it this way. A lot of times you can figure out the mood of the fish just from the way that they're eating, and this can definitely unlock another way of catching fish that you previously did not know about before. But if you did catch some fish on this thing and you knew all about it and I didn't talk about it, let me know in the comment section how you like to fish one of these finesse swim baits. And thanks for watching, you guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video if you liked it, and I'll see you guys in the next one.